Once upon a time, you all had to do what you were told to do. That was childhood. And then you grow up and you find that people still think you should do what they want you to do. You don't have to do anything that anybody wants you to do. Anything at all. And equally, everyone is free to do whatever they want to do. This life is so short. Why would you waste your time pleasing others? Especially if those people don't please you. Especially. Be kind to yourself first. Honor your needs. Otherwise you'll be bitter and resentful as time passes you by. I did what I wanted. I moved to a piece of land and built a little cabin. And people didn't like that. People that had other plans for me. If you're not careful, your life will just be an accessory to others. Don't worry if you offend people by just being yourself. If being yourself offends others, that's their problem. If people don't understand you, again, that's their problem. Everyone is free to come and go as they please. Free to watch another video. Free to live and speak their truth. I thank you for being here this week. I love you all. God bless and welcome. Timgad Algeria. I ended my video, this place, last week, and that was it. I had nothing else to say for the week, and yet while editing the video, I couldn't help but notice some things. I thought we would look at those things. Now, I'm always going off on trains, canals, dams, brick buildings. Signs that the old world had everything we do today and more. Hundreds, even thousands of years ago. And there was a great cataclysm, realm-wide. In some places it deposited mud and rubble. In others it left most everything intact. In places like this, everything has been wiped out, washed clean. Is this by the ocean? No. Zoom out to give you a feel. Here we go. Northern Africa. Not even in the deep desert. And I've told you in the past, my father was born over here in Oran. And this region was once home to a great empire that we would later call barbarians. Beautiful cities built out, and they used to keep lions as pets. But anyway, back to this Timgad Algeria. Again, I just barely scratched the surface. In my last video, I was having technical issues and wasn't able to go deep into anything except thought. And this is exactly where we ended the video. Let me take you down there. Here we go. Dropping the man. And we were in front of this beautiful triumphal arch. And here's what I noticed. What looked like train track. No doubt a smaller train, maybe a trolley. And we are told that such things are ruts left behind by cart ruts. Hundreds of years of dragging carts through the streets left these ruts. And are they cart ruts or are they train track? Here, I've turned around and we can see them faintly. They're very faint here. It looks like stones have actually been placed here in some spots to cover up these tracks. Here again we can see brick columns. And what do they say? What in the hell do they say about this city? Just cooked. What a beautiful city. I mean, do you have this many columns in your city anywhere, even in ruins? What glory this must have been. And all the tops are gone. I mean, all the buildings are mostly gone. And it's actually pretty big, like maybe 1 million person city. Brick holding up great. Let's see what they say. And again, I use this site to see what they say. Don't believe what they say. But I am interested because this is what everyone else will believe to be true. I mean, those that don't look any deeper. Again, I see evidence of trains in this city. And here, we're told this city was founded around 100 AD. There we go. The year 100. 100 bricks are perfect. You could reuse them today. There's really no dirt. I mean, the whole city is covered in pavers. And they seem like small streets, but if you had excellent public transportation, and why wouldn't you have excellent public transportation? Again, the columns. This are paved streets, better than our streets today. These are streets that clearly last, not like our cheap asphalt today. So 100, it represents one of the best examples of the grid plan used in Roman town planning. Those of you that have read my book will recall the chapter that goes into great detail on surveying. It's not something you just walk around with a stick and lay out. I don't care what time period you're living in. These are engineered streets, a perfect grid, every bit as perfect as what we create today with machinery and technology. To have this footprint, you need everything modern that we have today. Just to have the footprint, forget about the structures that are missing. You need heavy equipment, excellent communication, and tons of material brought in by truck or train. Horse and wagon isn't going to cut it, and it's just sitting here. We are told for 2,000 years, tunnels going underground, telling a story that I'm trying to tell right now. None of this is primitive. This was nicer than any city we have today, and it's a two-parter. How did they build it without all the advanced technologies we enjoy today? And B, what the hell happened to it? Again, washed clean. So we're told it was really built for military purposes as a bastion against the Berbers, or the Barbers, or the barbarians that I was just speaking of. It was originally populated by Roman veterans. So the Romans, in the year 100, we're told the Romans came out here and built this city for veterans. Great. A little veteran retreat after fighting in the Roman wars. Let's see how far it is from Rome. Looks like about 600 miles across the sea. There we go. So all materials will have had to have been brought overseas in the fine year of 100. The city enjoyed a peaceful existence for the first several hundred years. It became the center of Christian activity, and in the 5th century, the city was sacked. There we go. That's history. Sacked by Vandals. Vandals were a Germanic people led by kings. So the Vandal kings. Ultimately, it was destroyed at the end of the 5th century by Berber tribes. So the Berbers are still pretty strong in this time period. Then we have the Moorish Wars, and the Byzantine general retakes the city, and we're told rebuilt it. However, the early Muslim conquest brought about the final ruin of the city by the 8th century. So here we go. All these battles, and nothing really grows here. Traveling in northern Africa, Scottish explorer James Bruce. Look at James, come on. James doesn't look like he ever left the castle. In any case, he reaches the ruins in 1765, being the first European to visit the small town. So essentially it was lost until 1765, abandoned but full of elegant building. And he was so blown away, he wrote a book about his discoveries in 1790 called Travels to Discover the Source of the Nile, where he described finding Timgad, this abandoned city. The book was met with skepticism. Look, even then, this reminds me of the discovery of the ancient city of Bashan, a city of giants. Similar when a man discovered it and people were skeptical. The French colonists took control of the site and maintained it until 1960. During this period, the site was excavated. No doubt it was destroyed even more at this point. So here we go. The history of this place. Roman, taken over by the Berbers, and finally the Muslim. And that's what we're told. Again, do I believe that? No. And now I want to take you to the other side of the realm. Pause. Next, I want to take you to a place in northwestern Arizona. Let's zoom out, and you can see Kingman, Arizona, southeast of Las Vegas. Kingman. And something similar out here. There was a giant grid, and now people have actually moved in. They've utilized this beautiful surveying, helping facilitate the selling of this land. But it goes on, and a lot of it is surveyed for no reason. But anyway, the city proper. Now, we do have trains all throughout Kingman, and roads that really make no sense for the small town that it is, showing that it was once a major hub, not the dump that it is today. And you do have tons of old world buildings, and I like Kingman. I'd considered moving there different times. But again, you have evidence of this area once being an important hub. And then we have this mystery here. And I don't think it's a mystery. I think it's going to be similar to what we were just looking at in Algeria, Africa. So out here, we have this anomaly. We have what looked like train track, now totally gone. But we have this perfect track in stone. And even in this picture, you can see it veering off this way, and then at one point, the tracks went this way. Similar to what we see here, just tracks going in all directions, like this was not a cooked out desert that it is today. And this is called the White Cliff Wagon Trail. So here is where you have these amazing tracks. No need for even a road out here today. There's a few houses around here. There's no reason to have a train going around here today. And there's no reason to have a wagon going around this mountain over and over enough to leave tracks like this. And this isn't old Roman ruin that have been here for hundreds of years, we are told. No, this is like 1850s cowboys, again, we are told. And that's absolutely stupid, in my opinion, that a horse and wagon would do this. I mean, just completely stupid, I'm sorry. I made a video out here. It was like my 10th video on this channel. You can see me and Chief running around here. I mean, what kind of horse and wagon? What do they say that I don't believe? The White Cliffs Wagon Trail is a historic route in Kingman, Arizona, used in the late 1800s to transport ore from the Stockton Hill mines. It features deep ruts created by heavy wagons and is now a hiking trail. There we go. Again, there's no reason to take a wagon up here, a train, even a road. It's a road to nowhere. And in fact, it just kind of fades out. Doesn't lead to any such mines. This is a stupid detour. In the 1800s, you could have just come up to this road. There's no reason to go trekking through here. There's no wagon ruts coming out of here. And I think my conclusion is much more logical than theirs. That all of these roads, in fact, were rail lines. And that all cities were, in fact, much more advanced than what we have today. So let's take a pause. Okay, next I want to show you some great boots on the ground by this channel, and he has a bunch of great examples of how advanced this realm really was. It's amazing we have anything left. It was kind of hit or miss. So many sites completely obliterated, and then little pocket remain. And this video that he made is about 40 minutes long, and I didn't watch all of it because I wanted to share it. And it's great to discuss the topic of meltology. I mean, you have to. What happened to this place? What happened to all the places? Again, the question we were asking in Africa at the beginning of the video. And here we are in the UK. And the outside of the building looks almost natural now, with the exception of pipes sticking out, the chimney. And then actually when we look inside, similar to Petra in Jordan, everything begins to look a lot better. Down here at the bottom, we can see the blocks that it was originally made of before it was totally fried. We're beginning to see doorways and what seem like pretty habitable structures still. Now this this will be as ridiculous as telling us that horses and wagons carved what look like tracks in the stone. And here we'll be told that people both partially carved and partially built with brick, and similar to the ruins in Africa again. We're told brick holds up perfectly for 2,000 years. I mean, that's what we're told. And this really lends to the idea that mountains were indeed buildings. Here, fusing into this mountain is brick and block, really drawing a blurry line. A lot of the passageways have been sealed off, and in fact this area is not a public area. This is just in somebody's backyard. He got permission to film here, and this is similar to what I Am Kairos has shared with us in California. I mean, entire hillsides made of brick, now grown over with trees, and most people would never know. And there's a lot of places like this in private hands. This is in somebody's backyard, and that's why I felt it was important to share this. Again, you can see the blockage now, the melted blockage, and the further up you go, the more it looks like natural, and down here it's anything but natural. We can see the bricks fusing into this other part, but if you look carefully at these blocks, you can see the brick lines. You can see that it was once all brick, or at least had brick covering it. This is so good. I encourage you to watch his video. I don't think I'm doing it justice. Here he was showing brick. No, it's just a great example. You can see all the transition layers revealed at this site. Here again, a little brick surviving, barely, and just a great boots on the ground in general. I salute this channel for sharing this with us, and all kinds of things sticking out. Again, pipes, old utilities, showing that it was actually a modern building. And here he's going to turn around and you can actually see the people's house. So here's one of their little rundown buildings, and here's another little brick cottage. This is probably what they're living in. And again, this is just their backyard, just private property. And this is what we get, a massive building, now looking natural to the passerby. And when explored carefully, we can see that it's anything but natural. And this is probably one of the least discussed historical subjects. It's really not even on the table as far as mainstream academia is concerned. This is a nothing to see here moment. Again, we can see this chimney really with no access, with no purpose. And of course a chimney will be hollow inside, keeping it cooler if there was this heating cataclysmic reset, which I believe there was. A lot of questions here, just a lot of unanswered questions that I think are an excellent proof as to what may have happened all throughout this realm. Here again, we can see pipes, all kinds, non-functioning today, going straight into the mountain. And again, I don't believe it's a mountain. We can see the brick lines every now and then, as we can here. And we've discussed in so many videos the idea of whether or not brick can melt, and I think it's a absolute certainty at this point. And the idea is that the building has melted in on itself. That's why sometimes we have access inside and sometimes we don't, like we see here. But just like Petra, many portions can be popped out. It's actually a thin layer, a veil of rock covering these openings. What could history even tell us about this? Oh, the people were just stupid. They just built archways to nowhere. Really? Certainly there's another explanation. And of course there is. And it's not just the mountainous blob. It's all the underground passageways and the brick going into the ground, indicating that there are many levels. And we, in this community, know this to be true by now. I just thought it was worth sharing. This is a site that nobody will ever see. Can you imagine? And this is the perfect kind of site we would want to buy as a community, just to explore what discoveries could be made if we owned a property like this. So I think I'll leave it here for today. I hope you've enjoyed our exploration. I thank you for joining me. I love you all. God bless, and I'll see you next week.